福盛无量天尊, my dear Dao friends, hello again for another episode of the Dao Talk Live. Today, from the Wudang Tea House in the Wudang Temple in Germany, and it's been a very busy day, and we just finished. I was doing a lot of things, preparing for the next week, and also I'm working on a new book. That's what I just did. That's why we have a little bit late time Dao Talk now. It's already 9 p.m. in Germany. And I wish you a good day, good night, wherever you are, near or far. Tsubei, my dear Dao friends. Welcome. Today's topic is spiritual practice. And we're talking about Daoism. So Daoist spiritual practice, and there's just recently I have had some comments, and this is also very interesting for you maybe. Some comments why people teach spiritual practice and charge money for this. This is a big question. Why they do this? I don't know. Well, the people have to live, and if in my experience, if you give a lot of things for free, people just don't treat this as a treasure because they don't have to work for it or they don't have to pay for it. And the most students, my students, they pay with blood, with sweat first, maybe with a little bit blood and tears and maybe very, very hard work or help, labor work, because all the spiritual teachings no gold in the world can buy. So this is my rule, and this is the rule I got taught, and I also didn't pay with money. I pay with labor. I pay with a lot of labor work. So yeah, but joke aside, it's very common to charge money even for Daoist classes. I know my Shifu, they all teach in Daoist colleges, and all those students, they join the classes there. They pay the student fee, the tuition fee. And it's very common. So if you or anyone you know thought you get all the things for free, then it's a very romantic dream, but that's not the fact. Everything costs something, and that's why you have to have the will to do something for what you want. So if it's a car you want to buy, you also have to work for it. You can work and you make it by yourself, by your own hands, but the most of us, they don't know how to build a car. So they do another job and earn money with that so they can pay somebody for this car. So if you want to learn a special art or something, and you are so fortunate, you find a good teacher and he's teaching you, in return, even if it's for free or if he charge for it, in return he gives you all this. You should respect him and treat him with a good manner. And teachers, they have to pay their bills too, so it is very common to give money to a shifu or to a master because they don't go work, because they teach, right? They teach you and spend their time on their students, so they cannot have the time to earn money in a factory. If they have to earn money, they go to work, but then they cannot teach. So the student choose, same like I do, I also give gifts to my shifu, and it's also money, and this is very common. So many might have this romantic idea of getting everything for free. You just know everything from book or movies. I don't understand. You should go and find yourself some master to know the truth, I don't need to name names, but somebody just asks really funny questions, and then there's the wonder why I don't answer this. From all these online videos and online tutorials, I know there's many of you, they learn a lot, but those people, don't wanna learn anything anyway. They just want to get rid of their anger, and I'm welcome. They are welcome to get their steam off with me. I have no edge where you can put your claws in, so welcome. Today is a special day. Tomorrow is Wuzhi, and we were talking about Wuzhi and all this Daoist calendar in a short episode before. So I don't want to get into this too much today, but I just inform you for tomorrow is Wuzhi. So on Wuzhi, there's usually no ceremony or ceremonial practice, no incense burning. You can burn incense for your own room, for your smell, but not for offering the incense Gungde to the divine. Usually we also don't do scripture practice. Practice, yes, but not ceremonial. So there is the Wuzhi tomorrow. So if you want to practice, we all practice, but there is no ceremonies tomorrow. So yeah, but today we're gonna talk about a little bit about spiritual practice. What is Daoist spiritual practice? Since I'm in the tea house, I drink tea, not hot chocolate today. So welcome, my dear Dao friends. If you just join us, we were talking about some spiritual. We were just about to start talking about spiritual practice in the Dao Talk Live. I want to thank you all, first of all, for watching this and for giving me all the feedback. I'm really happy. I get a lot of emails, a lot of messages, and a lot of questions, and one by one I will answer them. So if I haven't had the chance to answer your email, because there is many emails I didn't even open because there's just too many, and I also have to teach here live with my students classes, and also teaching martial arts. So yes, I will answer one by one, but maybe you need to be a little bit more patient. I appreciate all the feedback. Really great that a lot of you enjoy the Dao Talks, and yeah, we're gonna make a regular episode every 2 or 3 days. I don't want to set a day yet in the week, but I'm sure there's one on Sunday like today, and one on Thursdays, and maybe one in between as well. So these 2 days, because there's other classes in the other days, I want to spend more time with my students and teaching them. And yeah, so Sunday and Thursdays gonna be the days where we have the live Dao Talk. So mark it in your calendar, and yeah, it's supposed to be around this time when it's a little bit calm, a little bit quiet in the temple, so I have enough time and sit with you drinking tea and talking about Dao. So enough of this nonsense now. Let's talk about spiritual practice. So whenever you use the spirit, the mind, I don't want to say the mind, but many of you, they think the spirit is the mind. But whenever you use the spirit to practice, to cultivate, then it's spiritual practice. And there is a misunderstanding or misconception when you just sit down and meditate and counting your breath, then this is a spiritual practice. Because then you're far away from using the spirit to cultivate, to practice. This is a process and a progress over time. Yes, it takes time to cultivate, to purify the body and purify the spirit, so you are able to use the spirit and travel the universe. This is a very common sentence in the Daoist community. But until this point, it's a lot of hard labor, hard work. Yeah. There's some tea. I actually don't charge for any teachings, right? So you can watch this for free. So I'm also teaching for free anyway. So because there was just an idea. Many people think, the spiritual teaching is for everyone. My teaching is for those who have the faith to come along with me. Same like I had the faith to meet my Shifu. He is teaching me a special practice, a special transmission, because I had the faith, and this is Yuanfen, called Yuanfen in Chinese. And don't expect that any teacher is just teaching you right away when you run into school. It takes a long time also for my students to understand me, to understand my characteristic, and also can follow my path. It takes hard work to follow this. Same like I work a lot for following my Shifu. And it is very common that many people, many students, they walk a certain time, the same path, and follow the same way, but then it's maybe have something more important in their life, what comes up, and then they do not continue the spiritual practice, which is absolutely fine. And I've met many of those, and I still have a few students who are walking the way for many years with me, learning regularly. Maybe not every day, talk with me here like you now, but they are practicing, and I do too. So there is spiritual practice is a long-term practice, because it takes a lot of effort and a lot of time to cultivate the spirit. And we all start with physical exercises, sitting, standing, breathing. All this is physical, right? And spiritual practice is not physical. Maybe you understand now the differences between all the practices what are leading to the spiritual practice, like sitting meditation. First of all, we need to learn how to sit right, how to feel comfortable, so we can sit for hours. And if you cannot sit for even 1 hour in the lotus seat, how can you expect to have enlightenment in this way, right? This is a very common thing, common misconception that people think they can sit for 1 hour and then they can, they are a high spiritual practitioner. But the fact is, and this is the truth, if you're not able to sit for 4 or 5 hours, you will not make any progress in the spiritual practice, because it just takes a long time in silence to refine the spirit. And but maybe this helps you, what I just said. Sometimes I just kick doors open and not through the flower. So if you feel I'm talking to you right now and you need this eye-opening, then here you are. You need to learn how to, first of all, sit for a long time or be silent. Learn how to sit in silence for a long time before the spirit even is starting to refine. Like we talked about the last few Dao Talk Lives, the last few episodes, we were talking about the 3 treasures of cultivating Dao, and the spirit is also one of those treasures. And I was talking about the level or the way of how to refine, how to cultivate the 3 treasures. And if you want to listen to more information about this, the 3 treasures, and especially how to cultivate them, you're welcome to watch the episode. It's supposed to be in the timeline, or if you cannot find it, you're welcome to also look on YouTube on the Daoist Liu channel. You will find the videos there, the past videos, we always upload them. So you're welcome to watch the Dao Talk Live videos all in a playlist on YouTube, the Daoist Liu YouTube channel. And the episode, I'm sure, is called The Three Treasures. It was a deep talk episode, and many gave me a good feedback because there I was speaking about things they never heard even before. So go ahead, enjoy the episode. It's about 1 hour, I think, if I'm not wrong. So the spiritual practice is nothing you can just pick up from a yoga course or yoga class, you know. That's why many who really want to go deeper into the spiritual practice, they just go find a master, and if they're lucky and find a good master, a real good master, who is also, and to find one, like I mentioned before, is only half of the medal. You also need to have him teach you, and you have to accept him and his teachings, because there's sometimes things not very clear, but it takes time to get answers, you know. And I'm just speaking about my own experience, because there were many questions never answered, but over the time they answered by themselves. So on the other hand, I have even in the Taiji class, I have many students, they never ask any question why we make this position or that. And it is good to ask. It is good to ask, but same like me, I'm not answering questions no need to be answered right now. And so is my shifu or my teachers. And this is the way it is. So spiritual practice needs level 1, level 2, level 3. And one of my honored teachers, Daoism, my shifu, he told me or taught me one lesson before. And because I was asking a question, is for me, it's very necessary for this moment. But then he said, you not even finish book 1. Before you read book 2, you need to first finish the book 1. So it's just a metaphoric sentence. The meaning is you need to first build a good basic before you can reach a second level and so on, you know. So the second book is written in a totally different language, especially in spiritual practice. You need to first understand the first book so you understand the second book, or you are able to read the second book. You need to master the first book first. I hope you understand what I'm talking about. The practice. So level 1 need to be mastered, need to be finished before you start level 2. And I know many think they practice for a couple of days. I've seen a lot, and many think they practice for a short time and they reach a good level. But you see, you need to be honest with yourself. Don't make things up. It's just not doing any good. And if you want to reach really high level, then you need to practice more. And I know the beginner's mind, and many people think the beginner's mind is a good thing. Of course, it's always like, as I started, you know, we all thought the same. We are the one, and we are the chosen one, and whatnot. The thing is, there is no chosen one. There is nothing like this. Without hard practice, without 熏仙闻道, go and find the master and then become the transmission. Get the transmission. Without this, there is no spiritual enlightenment or spiritual realization. So there's more than just luck. It's fate. And this is why many call it yuanfen. When I meet somebody who I supposed to meet, we would call it yuanfen. In English, it's fate. So there is also, if you practice very hard, the divine or the God, or you know, the one in charge of your fate is helping you to walk the right way, to let you meet with the right people. And I have experienced this in my life many times, and I'm 100% believing in this. I'm a Daoist priest, I'm a Daoist practitioner, so I believe there is a divine, like, leading us or helping us on our way, and it's called the star divine of yourself. It's a complicated practice involved in this, into connecting with them. Complicated at the beginning if you don't understand, but through spiritual practice you could also connect with this divine, and he will help you even on asking for it. So yeah, Thomas, you will make a thumb up. It takes a long time, and if you don't have the transmission, if you don't know the method, then just sitting in silence or just sitting there and imagining this is not doing the trick. So why there is only, let's say it this way. The old masters, they say it in one sentence. There is more practitioners than stars you can see on the night sky. But there's only as many practitioners realize this Tao as you can see a moon and the sun. So it's a very nice sentence. The generation, each generation, they just bring up a very few people who really understand, who really realize the Tao. Maybe in modern times, because there's more people, of course there is also more practitioners, but still many just do it for the money. Many just do it because they cannot find other jobs. I've studied in the Daoist college, and I've seen, I was like the nerd, the geek in the front row, and I was writing everything down the teacher taught us. But I know others, they just play their phone, taking calls, making calls, doing this, doing that, And later on, I realized for many it's just a job, because to work or live in a temple is easy if you just have nowhere to go anyway. But on the other hand, I know from my Shifu Rendashsen, and I love this sentence, because every practitioner, every Daoist Daoshi, Chujiaren, has a history. Why they even become a Daoist, why they even go into the temple, live in the temple, like a Daoshi. Chujiaren means like going out from the family, which is a common term for Daoists who live in the temple, and getting a new name, getting a new family, basically. Daoist community is their family then. So they have all the package, they carry it, and this is sometimes problems with the family, sometimes whatever not. There is everything you ever could imagine the people have. And well, they call it guaiwu, like weirdos, weird things, I'm also weirdo, I do practice, I start my practice at 11 at night and finish at like 4 o'clock, sometimes even later. And I practice in this time because this is my practice time, and I have reasons for this. I do a lot of things which is very weird for my neighbors or for my whatever not. But this is the Daoist world, and I live in my world, and you live in your world, and the Daoist community is worldwide developed. And if you talk, like, I do not have anyone I will talk about anything but Daoism and Daoist practices, because this is what my life is about. This is what my life is filled with. Wherever I go, I only talk about this kind of things, because this is why people also reach out to me, and why they want to meet me, or why they come to me. And I could just sit here and drink tea all day and still talking about Daoism for the whole day. Because people coming in, they come and visit me, and they just ask their question, and this is how it is. And if I would be a football star or whatever, I would talk about football and good football games all day, probably. I'm not very familiar with this community, but it might be like this. You know, if I would be a construction worker, I would do a lot of construction work. But for a worker who is working for other people, in terms of, I have a job I do not like, but I have to do it because I want the money or I need the money. They are not interested in doing their job, and therefore they are not talking about it a lot. But their boss is very interested in this and developing in this, so he's always talking about this. Do you understand the connection between these two worlds? So because my job, my goal in life is to develop a Daoist community in the Western world, to be part of those people who are teaching and who are spreading the Daoism in the Western world, because there is a lack of people like this. And I wish I could help a lot of Daoist practitioners or people who search for this, looking for a Daoist teacher. And here I am. This is my life, and I'm very happy about this. So I keep developing or keep practicing and purifying or perfectionizing my practice every day, again and again. So does the boss of this certain company do every day. He tried to find a better way to earn more money or find a better way to develop his company. And this is the same idea, the same principle. But I just don't do it for me, for my profit, but for the benefits of everyone. And this is spiritual. This is why it's spiritual. There is a higher concept behind this. So whenever you think you could do something for yourself and for others, not for material benefits, but for the spiritual benefits, you are doing spiritual practice. And this is also why we talk today about this, because all of you have the potential in becoming a spiritual leader or becoming a spiritual practitioner. You just need to find your path. You just need to find your way. And maybe I could help you to find your right direction. Maybe I'm the one who helped you to find that Dao is something what you could practice or cultivate. Then you're more than welcome to reach out to me. You're welcome to contact with me, and I'm very, very happy to answer your questions. Today I didn't even say once, if you have any questions, just post them in the comments. It's because we change our concept all the time. This is changing, right? Every day is a change. Every day is a new day. So, but again, if you want to learn more about Daoism, you're welcome to reach out. You're welcome to contact me via the messenger or the Facebook or the email. You find my email online. You could find that email from the temple. If it's not me who answer, then it's one of our students. I cannot answer all the emails right away, and sometimes it's my students or the disciples who answer this. And another thing is, I wanted to inform you that we start a new online class during the next month. So in February, mid of February, we're gonna start the first semester of the online course. We already have, let's say, we have 2/3 of the class full, because there's a limitation, and there is a regular online class, a live conversation, a live conference, and all be recorded, and you can watch it again. So if you don't have the time to join one class, you will not lose the opportunity. We're gonna learn the ceremony, the morning ceremony, including the rituals and everything. So if you're interested in learning the Daoist ceremony, the religious practices of the Trindan Pai, you are most welcome to join our classes. Yes, Thomas. All right. Yeah. Let me very quick finish this sentence. So yeah, okay. So there is still a few spots open if you want to join our online course. You're very welcome to reach out. There's a few posts already about the informations on my timeline, and if you have any questions, just reach out. And yes, now about Thomas's comment. Yeah, very interesting. These are the results of good internal alchemy, good spiritual result in ordinary life. Yeah, you're absolutely right, Thomas. Today, my dear Dao friend from Czech Republic, Thomas. And yeah, the internal practice, what you call internal alchemy, I call internal practice. Yeah, the alchemy is a very complicated procedure. It's easy to say this word because everybody is just talking about internal alchemy, but show me one who really know about this, who talk a lot about this. Not necessarily they know about internal alchemy, but the internal practice, like silent, like using the mind, using the qi, and in the daily life, if you are able to practice, like I mentioned in the deep talk about the three treasures, if you are able to transform the Tao in your daily life and to practice in the daily life, in the daily lifestyle, it is already very close to Tao, because this is a very high level of cultivation, if you do it the right way, of course. But again, there is a method involved, and there is practice involved. And just because you're friendly to your neighbors doesn't mean you are becoming realized Taoist. It is a good way to start, yeah, but still, again, there must be a transmission. And there is many teachers and many ways of practicing and cultivating Tao. So I'm not saying that there's only one way, but there's many ways. But if there's no transmission from Shifu to the Dizi, then it's very difficult. Even Yin Xi, the student of Lao Tzu, many people think he just get the book, the Tao Te Ching, 81 chapters, read it and get enlightened. This is wrong. The real historical records show that he became a student of Lao Tzu, not for one day or one night, for longer. And then later on, he take the Tao Te Ching to Wudang and study it there for even longer. And Yung Xin Wu Dao, he get realized Taoism by heart, because he read the words and he suddenly understand. So this is also a sudden realization. But again, Yin Xi, the guardian, the gate guardian from Lou Guan Tai, if you know what I'm talking about now, he went to Wudang Shan. He climbed for weeks and months a very difficult path on the mountain. That time there was not a tourist walkway up, but there's a peak is called Yin Xianyan. Yeah, it's the peak of the immortal Yin, and this is a very hard to find place. And yeah, well, I've been there many times, and you can understand from this historical record, or from this historical event, that even Yin Xi or Lao Tzu student realize Tao in this moment where they read the book, but then they go back and keep continuing practicing. If you understand this and you believe, or you are a realized practitioner, you still have to continue practicing. I mentioned before that even the divine continues practicing, because this is Tao, this is the way, and this is the way. how the Daoism or Daoist practitioners cultivate. And there is no highest level. Dai Luo Tian is where the highest divine reside, but it doesn't mean they just reside there or sit there and do nothing, but they also continuously cultivate. This is Dao, and the highest divine is just an expression of the Dao. And well, we could probably talk about this forever, but as I mentioned in the first few minutes of this Dao stream, the live stream, spiritual practice is with the spirit and not with the physical body. So once you refine your Jing, refine your Qi, then there is a procedure where you let yin yang harmonize and the spirit can rise up. There's many graphics, many paintings about this. This is what many call alchemical process or internal alchemy. Yeah, when yin yang, there's a stove and all this. This is just words for describing yin yang. Yes, Thomas, I have to read this comment out loud because it's very right and very true. You're absolutely right, and I'm very happy and thank you for this. Maybe a lot of practices is not good. Many students stay and sit for hours and have a good practice, but the character and ordinary life is not good. So in my understanding, what you mean, many practices which is not right or not good or not the Daoist practices, or even just half knowledge practice, because there's many around who just make up things by themselves to put themselves on a throne. But a true Daoist is like water, goes where not even a being wants to be. This is good Daoism. And last time I was talking about the water and the idea of putting the ego behind and don't put yourself in front of others. Even a shifu, even a master. So there is many students, they practice good practices, but then the idea of refining the character, polishing the character and doing good deeds, doing good merits, they don't understand because nobody taught them. And we cannot say this or that student is not good. We can just have the idea or understand that the master didn't teach them complete or didn't teach them the right way. So again, every one of you, every practitioner has the potential to realize Tao. It just depends on the fate. If they find a good master who teach them the right way, or if they find a not so good master who still, even they call themselves master or master, grandmaster or whatnot, but they didn't even get the right transmission. They just come up with things by themselves or make up things with themselves, There is so many details you could understand if somebody has gotten the true transmission. We just start by the uniform standards and by the way they practice or make movements. There's so many details, and if you understand that, you could see, okay, this person doesn't know that. He just come up with this. And I've seen it all, I don't need to say anyone, because they all on the Tao, they're all on the path, and they're all welcome to learn. And they all probably are willing to learn, but some, I'm sure, are very difficult to step down from the throne and be a student, because they already make a lot of money. They have students by themselves, but they know. Everyone know what they know. Everyone know for themselves what they really know and what they really are learned or what they really are able to do. So they can lie to others, but can you lie to yourself? If you look in the mirror, you know the truth. So at the end, there will be no highest divine or highest whatever not, because first of all, lying is not a good deed and is gonna be punished by the heavens, because you interrupt, or those interrupt with the way and interfere with people in a negative way. But again, everybody can choose their own fate, and once you choose, well, you still can change it every day. So, and I understand Thomas said there is maybe many people, they are willing to do the right thing, but they couldn't find the right teacher. And maybe there is many who are really having a good character and are willing to do all the hard practices, all the hard work, but they couldn't find the right teacher. And maybe there's also many, they are willing to do the right thing or practice hard, and they find a teacher, but the teacher is just teaching them some nonsense. So they practice a lot, but there's nothing coming along. And you see, the result is evidence enough. And this is what my master teaches me. You know, I was hiding for many years. I was hiding from the public. I was hiding and just practicing for myself, because I thought for many years I wasn't ready to teach anything about this. But when my Shifu taught me, or tell me that he wants me to take students and to teach, then this is the result. I was ready at one point, and I was teaching, and also I'm able to put the words or the methods in action, and they are giving me good results. If you read the Dao blog, there is feedback from many students, from many patients, and even you don't believe in this. Many believe, and even if you don't believe in this, you could read the feedback and you could try it out. Yeah, the Daoist healing, the spiritual healing, all this kind of things. For many, this is just nonsense. But the feedback, the result is more words than thousand words. So if you practice spiritual practice and you have good results, then this is proof that this is the right way. But if you do and practice and have no results, even after years and years, then first of all, it could be the wrong method, which is mostly the case. It could be the lack of hardship or really focused practice, yeah, or a mix of both of it, or maybe even the wrong timing. Yeah. So the spiritual practice is what people talk a lot about, but the Daoists who really understand some things from this topic, they know it's a very high level thing, and spiritual practice is an easy topic, but hard to realize or bring it to the end. Yeah, many start, but only a few really finish it. So yeah, if you want to learn more about this, if you want to learn more about Daoism, we have an online course coming up in February. We are already a few students signed up. If you want more information about this, please reach out. And the class will be in English, and materials, videos, all this kind of things will be involved, and you can practice with us in a classroom, in a virtual classroom. Yeah, we set up. And also next week, today is the 5th, on the 11th, the second International Daoist Ceremony Study Program, the second edition, is gonna be starting here in the Lao College. We have international students from far and very far, and also local students and from Germany, of course. A very big mix of students, and we're gonna teach the morning ceremony like in the first edition of the International Daoist Ceremony Study Program. And just a sneak peek, small information, we're gonna have a third edition of the International Daoist Ceremony Study Program in the late summer, July. So if you want to sign up for this, yeah, there's again limited spots for the workshop. Is gonna be 10 days and 10 days of training, the ceremony, and at the end you're gonna be able to do the morning ceremony. And yeah, well, we also do an advanced class for the evening ceremony starting next year or maybe end of this year. We're gonna see how this goes, but we're gonna do continuously workshops for this Daoist practices. So if you're interested in learning with us, learning the way of the Dao, you're welcome to reach out. Now it's been already almost 1 hour, Dao Talk live. So I hope you enjoyed it. If not, give me some feedback, give me critics, and if you want to have me answer some questions, you can ask questions and also ask about Daoist practices in the comments or via messenger. You just reach out and ask your questions. I can also choose, or you can tell me a topic what you want me to talk about, and I could just do a live stream about it. Yeah, I have a long list of Daoist topics and things I can talk about, but if you have anything what you wish me to talk about, you're most welcome to send me your wish list. Let's see. All right, that's all from me for tonight. Yeah, I wish you a good day, good night, wherever you are, near or far. I love the sentence. Yeah. So 慈悲慈悲，福上无量天尊. See you next time.